when I get to Warwick Avenue. Meet me by the entrance of the tube. We can talk things over, little darling. Promise me that you won't step out of line. Hello and welcome back. Just stop. Hannah time. I hope you are all doing well this fine Monday. If the office internet hasn't broken, if it has, then I hope you're doing well this fine Tuesday. So those of you wondering what's going on with the office internet, because of the upcoming move where the people that we kind of lease from are moving out, and we're replacing all our desks and stuff as a result because we rent the furniture off of them, and they also rent us a portion of the broadband that we use through an ISP. Because they're going to be going, we are going to have better reign over our own internet, which means we're actually going to switch to a local company that can apparently give us 1 gig up and 1 gig down. 1 gig up, holy shit. We are kind of waiting for that, and hopefully that will resolve itself. But as a result of that, I'm going to have to take this vlog home and upload it from home, or, well, we'll see. It might be it turned out okay. If it turned out okay, then ignore all of that. But that's why, you know, things like the streams and that sometimes go a bit wonky. We're just waiting for them to move out, and then we can create a new agreement with a different ISP that isn't BT. It's the same reason that whenever someone from Sky approaches me on the street, I go, "Are you still renting your lines from BT?" And they go, "Yes." And I go, "Let me know when Ofcom's finished." Since we haven't had a vlog for the last few weeks, I think we missed the Ghostbusters trailer. Yes, well, that's certainly something to talk about. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Ghostbusters thing, if I'm honest. It's interesting, I think, is the fair point to make. Interesting. It could be one of those ones where they've literally put all the exciting bits in the trailer. Case in point, most Hollywood films with action in. It could be that actually it ends up being like Bridesmaids, which there are at least one of the Bridesmaids writers and actresses in it, if I recall. What's-her-face is in it. Names, don't ask me to remember names, but it could be that it's brilliant. It could be that it's a really nice homage to the original. It probably won't be any of those. It'll probably be quite cheesy, very Hollywood, and much in the same vein as all those reboots, including the ones we don't talk about, like the Indiana Jones one that I'm not even going to name. Or is it Superman 4 we don't talk about? Can't remember. Anyway, it could be either. I'm probably going to go and see it in the cinema. Depends on how awkward it is. Arguably, I didn't go and see Goosebumps in the cinema, which got no press, and I was far more excited for, because I fucking loved Goosebumps as a kid. That's kind of what got me into quite a lot of the horror that I like now, is the Goosebumps collection. Not only the TV thing, which was interesting, but also the books. I mean, obviously I read a lot of books as a kid. For birthdays and Christmases, I bought Goosebump books, or Choose Your Own Adventure books, or other things, just around the Goosebumps thing. But I didn't go see that. So I'll have to get that, like, catch that when it comes out later, which may be kind of sad. It's probably cheesy and it's probably shit, but hey, that's what Goosebumps was in the first place. So I'm not that fussed. Ghostbusters, who knows? House and Advent. Now, Advent has been on hold for several weeks. Now, I did say before that I will keep you guys posted, and when I have done with Advent, I will properly confirm. As you could probably see, it's not any better. Now, the reason for that is because I have been spending the last 2 or 3 weeks desperately trying to sort out the house. Literally everything that could go wrong with buying a house has gone wrong. That doesn't mean that I have lost the house, but it does mean that pretty much every other day I've been spent chasing someone or stressing quite heavily, which is again why there was no Primal Daily over the weekend. I just wasn't in a good headspace to do any more. So far it's going okay. I hope you guys will join me in crossing your fingers. We're currently in like a 72-hour window where someone needs to check my information because the various things went down, including the people who had my mortgage not having my address. So checking my credit history on a different address. So that's been a complete nightmare. I won't go into full details about it because it's complicated, it's silly, and it's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. But that is why it's been a bit all over the place the last few weeks, and it probably will still continue because I won't feel safe about it until I actually physically have the keys in my hand, because the amount of messing about that's happened from individuals in the process. Luckily, I have a very good solicitor who's been really helpful and supportive. The brokers have also done their best to help me. So thankfully I have them, because otherwise I would have been bullied by the top of the chain quite heavily, to the point that they've been hounding me daily, or at one point they were hounding me daily via the other estate agents, God knows why, but whatever. And so I've not been in a very good place, but it's me, I can cope. Right? This is one of the things I'm known for, is, well, I hope I'm known for, is not giving up to some extent, and being mentally strong enough to withstand this sort of shit. So fingers crossed it will all be fine, but I hope you guys understand that plus everything else that's been going on, because this started before Christmas, this house thing. And so this is carried through from the Christmas workload, the Christmas stress, the house. It's just carried forward. There's been no sort of time off that has really been beneficial. Because whenever I've had time off, I've been spending it trying to deal with the house. So fingers crossed the house all goes okay. Fingers crossed I'm in by May, because that'd be really nice, wouldn't it? To be in the house for my birthday, be in the house before E3 and all that kicks off. But we'll see. So as I said, again, as a result, I've not done anything with Advent, because by the time I get to the weekend, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm still editing. I don't want to be editing at the weekend. I want to do stuff. I want to socialise. So sorry if you are waiting on Advent. I know it needs doing. I need to do it. But currently, the life priority of attempting to get this goddamn house sorted out has had to take priority, because it's kind of not a once in a lifetime thing, but it's kind of a big grown-up adult thing that's going on, and I need to make sure that it happens. Content. Now, Primal is every other day, or was every other day. That will hopefully be fixed tomorrow when I get time to play more, because, dear God, that game, like what you're seeing on camera, I'm doing like 6 times as much off camera to try and prep it. There is so much work needed. Things like the Scar Bear hunt, which I think will be going out, or is out. Let me just check. Yes, the Scar Bear hunt that's going out today, or has gone out today. The video is 23 minutes long. I can't remember how much of that is the bear hunt itself, but it took about, I don't know, 40 minutes. It's really long. Like, all the hunts are really long. All the clearing out takes forever. And yeah, it's really like a lot of work, even more than the other Far Cries. So once I get rid of that, then it'll be a lot easier. We are doing XCOM 2 again on live streams. Kim and I have finished Layers of Fear, which will be going out every other day on my channel. It is already started. There are a few episodes. There's also going to be a special on the main channel tomorrow, I think, which is Simon and I just looking at the start of it as a creepy o'clock thing. If you enjoy that, do let us know, because there's a few things that he and I have a common interest in coming out over the next year or so. So, you know, we can always have a little bumble about in those as a special thing. Just let me know what you think. Or let us know in the comments of that video, because that's where they're going to look to see how popular the idea is and whether you guys want more. So do go and comment on that video when it comes out. Key mailer, I have a bucket load of games to get through, or at least do impressions of. So, in fact, if I go into my drafts, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games that I have yet to play that I would like to play, so we'll have to find a time for those. And also Heavy Rain. Oh, and the Maharaja DLC for Assassin's Creed. So that's like 16 games that I want to play. And then we've got Uncharted 4 coming out soon, so I guess we should put the trilogy of that in. And yeah, there's loads. And again, it's one of those things if I was like, yeah, we'll stream some, we won't stream some, and then it was the house has happened. So it's all gone a bit awry. But my plans always go awry, so it'll be really nice when it's all a bit more settled and I know what I'm doing. I think that is all of that sorted. I will have a quick look at the Q&A. It is a few weeks old, by which I mean almost a month. Fucking hell. But hopefully there are some cool questions for me from you guys. So the first question today is from Metal She-Wolf 83, who says, if you had time, would you take up archery as a hobby? You seem to enjoy it in Far Cry and Tomb Raider. Thanks, have a lovely week. Have a lovely week yourself. Hope you've had a lovely week last week as well, since that was the week. Whenever, have nice weeks. Yeah, well, I have done archery and I have fired guns before, and I kind of prefer guns, if I'm honest. Archery's great and all, but you need to have the correct pullback and stuff like that. And I kind of struggle with the strength of it because I'm quite small. I'd have to do a lot of muscle work probably to get the draw that I'd need. Whereas a gun, it kind of does a lot of that for you. I do think I prefer from trying rifles, because I was in cadets. So we had a lot of exposure to the firearm choices when we did the summer camps that they run at places like Catterick. So I have shot shotguns at clay pigeons, which I was pretty good at. So moving targets, guys, you've been warned. Including the two either way thing, you know, you have pew pew, shot both, but really rusty now. So I know I can do that. I know that if I'm given a sight on a gun, then I'm actually pretty good at a stationary target. So we have done things like sniper training a little bit, and I had a pretty good spread that was, God knows how small, but it was pretty small, it was good. But because of my size, things like the kickback, I had to have special ammo in the shotgun to try and prevent the kickback, because it was so strong in some cases that it was affecting the aim, even if I had it properly against the shoulder, because it was pushing me. And I also have an astigmatism in my right eye, which is the one that you put in front of the sights. So I struggle with precision focusing at distance, even with my contacts, because anyone who has contacts and astigmatism knows that the contact lens, because the eye is misshapen, that's what astigmatism is, your eyeball is slightly weird, which is not surprising. It doesn't sit as properly, so you sometimes get a bit of at long distance or short, whatever your prescription is, it gets a bit fuzzy. But had I not got that as a problem, and had I got a reason to do it, I would totally love to practice it. But I just don't really have the time or the inclination to do it, because I don't see a reason to take up archery unless you're properly wanting to go for it. I also, that time could be better spent doing a really physical sport where I am actually losing weight. But had I the time, had I a time turner and magic, then yes, maybe I would. But if I had the time in the world, I'd do what the fucking Cullens do and just get a degree in everything and be like amazing at all the pianos and things. I think that's twice I've referred to Twilight in this video, which is kind of worrying, because I haven't seen it for ages, and fuck me, I don't know. But yes, if I had the time, that would be one of the things I would learn. And the more because I've started watching Walking Dead after the Michonne DLC, because I wanted to see how kick-ass she is, and if the representation carried through and stuff, and I am very much enjoying it now. Once you pass through the drama that is everywhere, and the whining, there are so many whiny people in it that they wouldn't survive if they were in a gameplay with me. But it's one of those things of like, it'd be great to learn just in case of a zombie apocalypse, because then you could be all like Daryl with the crossbow, isn't it? Automatic crossbow? Who knows? Probably. But yeah, no, if I had the time, yes. But if I had the time, I'd learn sword play and things like that. And all the martial arts. It'd be like Neo, just download it into my head. Someone has said, who is it? George Martian says, are they protein shakes on the table in the back? Yes. There They are protein shakes. I've started going to the gym again and we're doing things like deadlifting. If you don't know what deadlifting is, it's when you squat and you lift a huge weight with you. I'll see if I can find a picture. I'm not going to do it because it's not flattering and I'm not doing squats in my office. But I am trying to give myself a little bit of a hand with digesting carbs and stuff afterwards, you know, a little bit of a boost, because then I have to cycle home and then I have to cook food. So it's not as instant as it should be. Because if you're doing exercise, you're supposed to have, within the first half an hour after exercising, protein and various other nutrients to help recover your muscles and replace the stuff that you've sweated out. So I've got stuff. The boys have stuff as well. The Hat Films boys use stuff as well. Different stuff to me. I've got Jym, which is JYM. Now I've got that one because decent reviews on it. It's also not a milk powder one. I can't stand the milk powder ones. They make me like throw up because they don't mix properly and then they're all gross. This one is like a weird dissolving sherbet style thing, and I quite like it. So yeah, they're just sitting in the background because I go to the gym after the office sometimes. So that's that. Another question is from Connor Power, who says, I hope you're well and enjoying the awful weather. It is currently sunny here. Holy shit. But you have a movie-ish related question, which is, what is your favourite fantasy universe? I'm going to disregard the movie part because there are so many good fantasy worlds that have never been used. Brandon Sanderson creates... I don't know how the man does it. He has like 5 trilogies on the go at once or something stupid. But a lot of his worlds are brilliant. They're very dark and war. Like it's very similar to like Westeros. They're not really nice places to be, but they're done very well. I probably wouldn't want to be in Westeros because of the amount of shit that happens. Although I love it. I love it to bits. I like Middle-earth as well, although only certain elements of that. Star Wars I could take or leave. These are the examples he's listed, by the way. Star Wars I could take or leave. Harry Potter I love to bits. I spent most of my early teenage years plus loving Harry Potter in all its forms, even the dreaded first film, which... yes, so I do love Harry Potter to bits, but I think I will probably have to say 2 things that have not gotten much love, and I am very excited to see where at least one of them is going to be going, and it'll be interesting to see if the other one gets picked up, because it feels like it is something that would totally work in this day and age, in light of fantasy becoming cool. But the first one is the Philip Pullman Northern Lights trilogy. Now, the UK will recognise Northern Lights, the US will recognise it as The Golden Compass. It's the story of Lyra and Will, who turns up in The Subtle Knife, and their demons, which are animal embodiments of your soul, who can talk to you, can see other people, everyone can interact within certain etiquette, of course. You don't touch other people's demons. That's naughty. Unless you're in love, or you're having sex, or whatever the fuck. Anyway, let's not talk about that actually, because that's just weird, and I don't want to think about animal sex. But the film was done poorly. The BBC are doing a TV adaptation, which I'm very excited about because it could be really good. We'll have to see. But I really like that world, and I would totally love to live in it, because I'd love to know. It's the same as wanting to know what your Patronus is like. I'd want to know what my spirit animal is like. I'd love it if it was some sort of wildcat. I know that a load of people, as jokes on Twitter, were like, Libby's basically your demon, isn't she? But she's not mine. She's my boyfriend's. So no, she's definitely like him and her are like. She'll let me do a lot of stuff, but there's only one person she'll sit on the chest and purr and purr and purr. She won't do it with me, and I wouldn't ask her, because you don't ask cats. Well, you can ask cats to do things, but they probably won't do it. But I'd love something like a little bobcat or a lynx. I could also go for an eagle or something, but I quite like a fluffy cat thing. I wouldn't want an owl. You can't really hug an owl. They're a bit too talony and feathery, and birds are quite dirty things, so I wouldn't want an owl. Also, it's so stereotypical in terms of channel stuff that everyone will go, yeah, you've been owl. It's like, actually, I'd rather be a cat, or I'd rather have a cat. But things like, I wouldn't mind an otter either. Hermione's Patronus is an otter. I quite like that. So we'd have to see if that ever happened, which it wouldn't. But I love that universe. Another one that totally, it's the appropriate time for them to do something is the Garth Nix Abhorsen books. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a world where for my bachelor's in English, my thesis was on Western representations of death and the underworld. So Garth Nix got a little bit of attention, Harry Potter got a bit of attention. It was great. I got to write about Dementors and Death Eaters as a degree, and backed it up with actual work. Again, you know, it's one of those things of how useful is your degree? Probably not that useful, but I had a fucking good time doing it, and you know, I was doing it to study and learn and enjoy myself versus go and graduate and be a chemist or whatever. But Garth Nix is totally, this is the time and the place for them to do stuff with Garth Nix. It's about effectively necromancers and the ability to cross different gates of death, and there are bells, so you have different bells that do different things, like the binder, the walker. So the binder binds spirits, the walker makes them walk. There are like sigils, there's magic, there's an idea that all of that exists beyond a wall. So, I mean, the wall thing is probably a little bit pinched, but who knows? But all the magic exists in a world beyond the wall. And in front of the wall is our world. And we don't go beyond the wall. So, it's a very interesting concept, and I very much enjoyed the books as a kid and older. So, if you're into fantasy, do go and check out Garth Nix, because you may have missed something. But I think it'd probably be one of those two. It would be horrible, and I don't know why I'd love it, but I'd love to be an Abhorsen. Jack Smith says, Hannah, how do you feel about the confirmation that Watch Dogs 2 is in development? Well, we knew that, kind of. They created a brand new engine for Watch Dogs 1. It would make sense that they would make Watch Dogs 2. Also, it's Ubisoft. They like to make trilogies. In fact, everyone likes to make trilogies. But Assassin's Creed was originally a trilogy. Prince of Persia was originally a trilogy. And it makes perfect sense that Watch Dogs 2 was going to follow, because the reviews were mixed, but mainly positive. So I'm not surprised at all. If you ever watched me play the Bad Blood DLC, which I still say is a fantastic DLC, they got serial killers and the tone and the characterisation down perfectly. That entire DLC is setting up for Watch Dogs 2. And if you watch the end of it, you're like, yep, they're going to do 2. So I'm not surprised. Now I think we just have to wait until E3 to have the grand reveal of that, to see if it is indeed true. And also, if indeed Assassin's Creed Egypt is true. Because I'm still waiting on that, Ubisoft. I still need to know. But yeah, no, I wasn't surprised at all. It's one of those things of, you know, you sit there. So Kim and I come out of the E3 stuff and we're like, what do you think of that? Oh, well, maybe oh, well, you know, maybe they'll do that. Or, you know, so for example, by the way, Fable Legends, which was announced 2 years ago, isn't happening because Lionhead Studios are closing. Or some of them are. I'm not surprised. Kim and I were sitting in the Xbox conference when they announced that, and we went, that's great if it comes out this year. 2 years later, still not done. So there's certain ones that you look at as either a gamer or someone who has witnessed the industry and you go, that's fucked. Or, yeah. So like, you know, it's one of these things you think of at the time and you kind of disregard, and then it happens and you're like, oh, yeah. So... yeah, I'm not surprised there's a 2. Whether it comes out and it's a buggy piece of shit, that's another question for another day. We'll find out. So that is all for today's questions. Don't forget that you can also ask questions by leaving them in the comments section below. And if you see someone who's got a good question, give it a thumbs up, because I can see them more easily then. I'm getting old and my astigmatism in my aiming eye isn't great. No. So yeah, please do leave comments. Thank you to everyone who left comments about what you wanted me to do with Primal. We didn't get this live stream side thing happening because house, but it's definitely noted, and it kind of confirms what I thought you guys would want out of it, which was storyline on camera, on videos, and whatever the fuck you want on the stream. So thank you for confirming that. Thank you for applying. As always, you're lovely. Final things to remember. Do not forget to tune in to Friday's live stream where we'll be doing more XCOM 2 and hopefully Save the World. And also don't forget that you can buy the amazing poster that Nina did, the Fright Night poster, and loads of other merch at the comment in the description. So go then have a look if you like it. I hope you guys enjoy Fright Night. I hope you guys continue to enjoy Primal, and I hope you enjoy all the upcoming stuff. And I'll see you next week. Bye bye.